What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Monsterarts Blue Eyes White Dragon. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Blue Eyes White Dragon is from the popular card game, anime series, media franchise Yu-Gi-Oh! And when I was a kid, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the card game that I played. Even though Pokemon, as I've expressed on my Twitter, and even I've talked about it here on YouTube and done some tier lists for Pokemon, even though that is my favorite media franchise of all time, I've actually never really got into playing the Pokemon card game, more like collecting the cards when I was a kid. Even I don't do that today. But just to give you guys quick little proof that I did play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or that I even still, am interested in it. Here is, this Blue Eyes deck that I had, obviously. I'll just show you guys. There is Mr. Blue Eyes White Dragon. But again, I played this card game a ton when I was a kid. I still collect the cards. I still think they're cool. I still build decks even though I don't really play because I think it's just fun. But yeah, Blue Eyes White Dragon, one of the most iconic monsters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. Seto Kaiba's signature monster. Absolutely amazing that they're even doing this. But as you can see, some gorgeous artwork here of the Blue Eyes White Dragon figure. You have the Monsterarts. You got, I believe that is the kanji that delineates that this is Blue Eyes White Dragon. Got the Tamashii Nations there. Got the Bandai there. More Bandai Namco up here. On the side, you just get some nice artwork here of Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then you get some more nice artwork here on the other side, and then obviously here on the back, we do have our obligatory product shots of the Blue Eyes White Dragon figure and all that he comes with. But I think that's really it about the box. The box is fantastic, as Bandai usually, in my opinion, nails it with these boxes. And so, without further ado, here we have the Monsterarts Blue Eyes White Dragon out of the box, and I gotta say, guys, this is, I'm even going to say this right now. It's pretty much a damn perfect figure. This is so good from the Monsterarts line to dive into something I don't think that they've really done before when it comes to this. But this is a brilliant figure, and I am absolutely in love with it. And I'm even going to say this, as another reviewer also said, Steven's Toy Reviews. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. You got to get 3 of these if you really want the full effect. If you guys aren't familiar with the show, then I apologize for, referencing something you don't understand, but for those of you who watch the show, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to you do need 3 of these. Am I going to get 3? I honestly don't know. They are pretty expensive, but overall a damn near perfect figure. But taking a look at the details here, I mean, this guy is just gorgeous. I mean, you can see this awesome paint detail that they did here, like just this brushing that they did to give the gradient effect of this white and this blue, because obviously Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then you just have that all over the body. So taking a look at the head, though, I mean, you can see that is a gorgeous head, this really awesome paint. I mean, it's just so well done. The tongue is painted very well. You can see the teeth are also painted, and you can look at the eye there. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus there. I mean, look at that. That is gorgeous. And then you can see that gradient effect throughout the entire body. I mean, here at the neck, you can see it here at the claws and on the arms. You can see it here in the wings. I mean, look at the wings. Those are amazing looking. Those look fantastic. You can see here in the abdomen area, all the way here down to the legs. I mean, and the claws are really, really cool. They are pretty sharp, so be careful with that. And then here throughout the tail, I mean, it's beyond gorgeous. And then looking at this guy from the back, I mean, you can see the absolute gorgeous, paint detail they did on this guy. They really captured that effect of how this figure looked in the actual show and even on the card itself. And so it looks really, really amazing overall, and I think they did a fantastic job of recreating one of the most iconic dual monsters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And when it comes to this, the other cool thing about this guy is that he can, like I've shown you, stand on his own. It's really awesome to see that this little figure, and I wouldn't even call him little, but this figure can stand on his own, and that's really fantastic in and of itself. And so when it comes to this guy, obviously, unlike a Transformer, there's no real transformation. So let's get into some quick comparisons. So we're actually going to, sorry if this guy's a little off screen. He is a bit of a wide boy because of his wings. But as we'll set him off to the side here. Here is Mr. Blue Eyes White Dragon with the Monsterarts Godzilla -1. And as you can see, this is probably how I get them to scale. I actually kind of believe that Blue Eyes was much smaller than a building size kaiju. I believe, Blue Eyes was probably like the size of a house, kind of like a Transformer size, maybe a little bit bigger than a Transformer, but not overly, like building skyscraper size like Godzilla. But these two look cool together. Again, I'm just trying to give you guys like a general comparison because the only other figure that I'll be able to compare this to is the recently announced and pre-order a bowl Red Eyes Black Dragon, also from Yu-Gi-Oh! And so at the end of the day, this is all I got to compare to you. But I hope that maybe you have some of these figures or similar figures that you'll be able to compare so you can just see how big this guy is. But Blue Eyes White Dragon here is a definite good size. Instead of sort of the height with Godzilla here, even though they're almost, equal in height, at the same time, it's really that width with the wings that Blue Eyes has here on Godzilla. And for the final comparison, here he is with the SH Figure Arts 3.0 Super Saiyan or Legendary Super Saiyan Goku. And yeah, again, I'm trying to compare, both of the figures I've shown you were figures that were made by the same company, not necessarily the same line with Goku here, but obviously with Godzilla, it's SH Monsterarts. But yeah, you can see pretty good scale here in terms of just like how big Blue Eyes is here. Obviously, this is how they actually scale. Goku would be probably like yay big in comparison to actual Blue Eyes. But yeah, you guys get the idea. Just giving you guys other figure comparisons so you can get an idea of how big this guy is. Alrighty, from here, let's do the articulation. This guy has fantastic articulation. So, getting into it, and the head is on, I believe this is a ball joint and a swivel, or it's just a swivel. But understand that you can look down like this far, because all of these are all ball joints, and it's really well done. And you can look down so far, and then you can look up like this. Like, look at that. That is crazy articulation. Like, that is beyond crazy articulation, and it's freaking awesome that you can bend his head all the way back without anything snapping off. And then obviously you can do this, and then like I showed you, the jaw can open and close, and since it isn't inhibited, you can actually open and close it fully. The tongue also can do wiggling, because I believe it's on the ball joint, and then you can do like the slack jaw, right? But it looks ugly. These parts are also articulated, so you can get some even more bend and stuff like that, and then you can flare these out a bit more to give it more volume here, so it looks filled in. Then here, and very interesting how the abdomen is articulated. So every place where the arms and or legs are connected, that abdomen piece is static. But every other piece of the abdomen, as you can see, is on this sort of ball joint. So you get some wild articulation with this guy in the midsection of his body, like way more than you'd expect. You get like this crazy side to side. You get like this awesome bend forward and awesome bend back. Like, this guy is incredibly articulated for being a dragon. Like, it's really cool. And so, like I said, not here, but here, here, not here, and not here. But really cool stuff. Arms can also technically do a full 360, but obviously the wings will get in the way of that. They bend at the elbow. You can straighten them out. And then the claws aren't articulated themselves, but the hands are on ball joints, so you can get that nice range of motion. Same for the legs, very similar to the arms. So you can technically do a full 360, but why would you? And then you do have a rotation here because it's on the ball joint. You can stretch out and you can bend decently far, and then obviously these are also on joints as well, and then you can get some really nice articulation with the feet as well. Getting into the wings, they are all separately segmented, even though this whole thing is one piece, which is, well, it's two separate pieces attached by a ball joint here, but it's all, acts as one piece, and so you can get some really nice stuff. And then all of the joints here for these, the inner parts of the wing, I'm not sure what these are called scientifically, like, the inner parts of the wing of any like reptilian like this, but you can see these are all individually articulated, so you can get some really nice motion out of all of these as well. So cool stuff here. And then the wings themselves are also on ball joints, so you can see that joint there, so you can get some wicked articulation with these. You can go back, you can go forward, you can twist these, so there's a lot of articulation with these. And finally, this tail, much like other SH Monsterarts tails, but very much more well done comparison to a lot of the Godzilla ones. Now, there's a lot of Godzilla ones that are also good, but this one is the best of everything. So you do get individual ball joints at each of these segments, and then you can do some crazy articulation. So you can, whoops, that's the first time that's actually happened to me. But you can, let's just get this back in. Really isn't that difficult. Shouldn't be that difficult. like that. So you can get some awesome bends. So you can get a bend up like this. You can get it bent down all the way. Then you can get some wild side to side. So all in all, the articulation for Mr. Blue Eyes White Dragon here is absolutely amazing, and I cannot deny that it's really good. Like everything is just so good with this figure. Or like me just messing around with it for a little bit, it's so good. I love this figure to death. Alrighty, folks, and the last thing we're going to get into here is going to be the accessories. And so when it comes to the accessories, this guy comes basically with a stand as well as a blue lightning or white lightning effect part, which is awesome. So taking a look here, we'll set Blue Eyes off to the side here. You'll see his wings still, but here's the stand. Now when it comes to the stand, you do get many segments. So you get, and that'll fall off because these are good, but they also don't stay in the best. I'll explain this in a minute. But you do get a ton of parts. So you get this base here. So you get the base, then you get each of the arms, then you get this part as well, and then you also get this arm as well that connects to the actual White Lightning piece. And to get him on there, it's not really that bad. So to get him on there, all you got to do is essentially let's get rid of this. It'll help out actually. You essentially just sort of lean his little chest part into it. And then all you got to do is then sort of rest the wings in these bits. Just to keep them. And even you honestly don't even need the wing stabilizers, but I think they give them to you just to be safe. It's one of those things, right? They give them to you just to be safe. So you just do this, and I'll zoom out. I apologize for the absolutely shoddy camera angle right now. But then what you do with this, so I'm glad this actually, we're going to take this off. So essentially, when it comes to this little bit right here, it's one of those things where like it's similar to the other like SH figure art stuff where it's essentially a circle and then it's got a bunch of little holes in it and then all of these effect pieces will plug in. So it does come with some of them like pre-put in, so they're like molded in. Now this part, these two parts are a little bit difficult because so that part, yep, that part goes right in there. It's just you have to be careful with this. This is probably the biggest knock on this figure that I have, is it's just these parts can be frustrating to handle just because that they do like to pop out if you bump into them too hard. I wish that there was a little bit, not a maybe necessarily like a better system, like a crazy better system, because this is still pretty good. It's just you knock it around a little bit like I am right now, and you absolutely kind of ruin it. So give me a sec. I'll cut to when I actually get this plugged back in. And there we go. So we're good to go there. Now the only last thing you have to do is essentially right around here. So you'll see it right there. There's a little peg hole right there in the center, and then at the top of this there is a peg, and then you just gotta peg this in, and then you can just lower Blue Eyes' head there, and then we'll zoom out here so you guys can see a bit better, because this is a pretty good size of a display here. So I'm gonna try my best to get everything in shot. But yeah, let's you can move this a little bit, move this back just a tiny bit. And there, you sort of get the full picture. This is really awesome. Like, it's really cool that you get the option to do this, because this was Blue Eyes White Dragon's signature attack. And so at the end of the day, it's really cool. And as you can see, I didn't really point this out when I was talking about it, but you can see the glorious not dry brushing, but the gradient effect from this, the white in the center, and then you got that blue lightning, then it gradients out into this blue and dark blue here. It just looks really good and is a perfect representation of what we saw on the show. Again, a lot of people are going to want to get 3 of these, but I will say the biggest caveat with this figure, besides maybe this, is just the price. It's relatively expensive, so at the end of the day, yeah, we'll talk about that here in the conclusions, but overall, what a great set of accessories for this figure to come with. It's really cool. Is there anything really else that they could have put? Not really, I don't think. So at the end of the day, really solid stuff. Alrighty, folks, so for my final and concluding thoughts on the SH Monsterarts Blue Eyes White Dragon from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, this is brilliant. I mean, Paint is fantastic. Articulation is great. On-screen accuracy is also an absolute smash hit. Accessories, really, really solid stuff. Like, I honestly don't really find faults in this figure besides putting the white lightning effect part together, as well as the price of the figure. The price of the figure is expensive. I believe it's about 130 bucks, which is expensive in general. You know, Bandai is not known for charging cheap prices. But do I think it is worth this amount of money? Yes, actually I do. Even though I do think it could stand to be maybe 10 or 20 bucks cheaper for what you get in the whole entire package, from again the sculpt, the paint, the articulation, to the accessories. I think that this is a really, really solid release from Bandai in the SH Monster Arts line. Honestly, way better than, in my opinion, Godzilla Minus One. It actually comes with accessories. So when it comes to this figure, honestly, I know it might be a stretch. Now, this doesn't mean it's perfect, but it's damn near perfect. 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely do recommend you go and pick this up. And when it comes to this figure, there's really nothing else I have to say good about it. I've already said as much as I can say. And so I picked mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so I'll leave a link to that in the description below. I'll also see if you can buy it on Amazon as well. And so, yeah, I think that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Also follow me in the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, I once again thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.